Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Thank you for being here and taking a few minutes of your time to watch this video. Today, we are continuing our journey of understanding anger, not to fight it, but to understand it deeply. Let's move forward. Understanding anger. Anger is one of the strongest emotions humans experience. It can rise suddenly and take control of your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Many people believe anger is a sign of strength. In reality, uncontrolled anger often shows a loss of control. When anger controls you, you are no longer choosing your reactions. You are reacting automatically. From a young age, many of us learn to hide anger or express it in unhealthy ways. Some people shout, some stay silent, some hurt others, some hurt themselves. Anger does not disappear when it is ignored. It stays inside and slowly affects your mood, your relationships, and your peace. Think about the last time you became angry. What happened to your body? Your heart beat faster, your muscles became tense, your breathing changed, your mind focused only on the problem. In that moment, logic disappeared. Anger narrowed your vision and made everything feel urgent and personal. Anger often comes from unmet expectations. You expect people to behave a certain way. You expect life to be fair. You expect situations to go according to plan. When reality does not match these expectations, frustration appears. When frustration is ignored, it becomes anger. Most people believe anger comes from outside, from people, from situations, from words. But anger actually begins inside. Two people can face the same situation. One stays calm, the other becomes furious. The difference is not the situation. The difference is how the mind interprets it. Anger gives a false sense of power. In the moment, it feels strong. It feels protective. It feels justified. But after anger passes, regret often remains. Words cannot be taken back. Actions cannot be undone. Relationships can be damaged permanently. Many lives are shaped by moments of uncontrolled anger. Careers are destroyed. Friendships end. Families break apart. And often, people realize too late that anger never solved the problem. It only created new ones. This video is not about suppressing anger. It is not about pretending you never feel angry. Anger is a natural emotion. The goal is understanding it, controlling it, using awareness instead of reaction, power instead of impulse. When you understand anger, it loses its control over you. When you see it clearly, you no longer fear it. You begin to recognize the early signs, the tension, the thoughts, the emotions, and in that moment, you gain a choice. This is where real power begins. Not in shouting, not in proving others wrong, but in mastering yourself. In the next part, we will explore where anger truly comes from and why some people struggle with it more than others. Where anger really comes from. Anger does not appear from nowhere. It always has a root. Many people think anger is caused by other people, by rude words, by disrespect, by unfair situations. But if that were true, everyone would react with anger in the same way. They do not. This means anger is created inside the mind, not outside in the world. At its core, anger comes from fear and pain. Fear of losing control, fear of being ignored, fear of being seen as weak, pain from past experiences, pain from feeling unimportant, pain from being hurt before. When these feelings stay inside for a long time, anger becomes a shield. It protects the ego. It hides vulnerability. Many people grow up in environments where emotions are not discussed. They are told to be strong, to stay quiet, to move on. But emotions that are not expressed do not disappear. They wait. They build pressure. One small problem later becomes a big explosion. People say you overreacted. But in reality, you reacted to many old emotions at once. Anger is often connected to expectations. You expect people to understand you. You expect respect. You expect life to be fair. When these expectations are broken, the mind feels threatened. The ego feels attacked. Anger rises to defend it. The problem is not the situation. The problem is the story you tell yourself about it. For example, when someone criticizes you, anger may appear, not because of the words, but because the mind says, I am not good enough. I am being judged. I am losing value. The anger is trying to protect your self-image. Another source of anger is lack of control. When life feels unpredictable, anger gives the illusion of control. Shouting feels powerful. Blaming feels powerful. But it is a temporary feeling. Afterward, the lack of control returns, often stronger than before. Anger can also be learned behavior. If you grew up watching anger, you learned it as a response. If anger was normal around you, your mind accepted it as normal. This does not make you weak. It makes you human. But it also means you can unlearn it. Understanding the source of anger is the first real step toward freedom. You cannot control what you do not understand. When you see anger as a message instead of an enemy, everything changes. The message is simple. Something inside needs attention. When you listen instead of react, anger begins to lose its power. It no longer controls you. You begin to control it. In the next part, we will talk about how anger affects your body and your health, and why staying angry for a long time slowly damages your life without you noticing. How anger affects your body and mind. Anger is not just an emotion. It is a physical reaction. When you feel angry, your body enters a state of alert. Your heart beats faster. Your muscles tighten. Your breathing becomes shallow. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline flood your system. This reaction was designed to protect you in dangerous situations. The problem is, modern anger is rarely about real danger. When anger becomes frequent, the body stays in survival mode. This constant tension slowly damages your health. High blood pressure, headaches, stomach problems, and sleep disorders often begin here. The body was never meant to live in a constant state of fight. The mind also suffers. Anger narrows your thinking. You stop seeing options. You stop listening. Everything becomes black and white. You either win or lose. You are right or wrong. This mindset destroys communication and creates distance between people. Long-term anger affects memory and focus. The brain becomes busy replaying old arguments and imaginary conversations. You think about what you should have said, what you should have done. This mental noise steals your peace and your energy. Anger also changes behavior. People may become impatient, defensive, or aggressive without realizing it. Small problems feel heavy. Simple mistakes feel personal. Relationships slowly break, not because of one big moment, but because of many small reactions. The most dangerous part of anger is that it feels justified. The mind always finds reasons, but justification does not mean safety. A justified anger can still destroy your health, your reputation, and your future. Anger also affects decision-making. When emotions are high, wisdom is low. Many regrets are born in moments of uncontrolled anger. Words cannot be taken back. Actions cannot be undone. Understanding this is not about guilt. It is about awareness. When you see how anger works inside your body and mind, you gain power. Awareness creates space. Space creates choice. In the next part, we will talk about how to pause anger in the moment, before it controls your words and actions. How to pause anger before it controls you. Anger does not appear suddenly. It rises, it grows, and between the start and the explosion, there is always a small window. Most people miss this window because they react automatically. Learning to pause is not weakness. It is control. The first step is noticing the early signs. Tight jaw, fast breathing, heat in the chest. When you feel these signals, your body is warning you. This is the moment to slow down, not to speak. Breathing is the fastest way to interrupt anger. Slow, deep breathing sends a signal to the brain that danger is over. Inhale, slowly through your nose. Hold for a moment. Exhale longer than you inhaled. Do this 3 times. It sounds simple, but it works because biology listens before logic. The second step is delaying your response. You do not have to answer immediately. Silence is not defeat. Taking 10 seconds can save you 10 years of regret. If possible, step away. Drink water. Change your position. Movement breaks emotional momentum. Next is changing the inner dialogue. Anger feeds on stories. They disrespected me. This is unfair. Ask one simple question. Is this worth my peace? This question does not deny the problem. It reorders priority. Another powerful tool is naming the emotion. Instead of saying I am angry, say I'm feeling frustration or I am feeling hurt. Naming emotions reduces their intensity. The brain shifts from reaction to observation. Physical release also matters. Walk, stretch, push the wall. Lets the body release energy safely. Suppressed anger does not disappear. It hides and returns stronger. One important rule: never make decisions when you are angry. Not messages, not promises, not threats. Write your thoughts down, but do not send them. Time is an ally, not an enemy. Pausing anger is a skill. Skills improve with practice. You will fail sometimes. That is normal. Progress is not perfection. In the next part, we will talk about how to express anger in a healthy way, without hurting yourself or others. How to express anger without destroying yourself or others. Anger itself is not the problem. Silence is not always strength. An explosion is not honesty. The real skill is expressing anger in a way that protects your dignity and your relationships. The first rule is timing. Do not speak when anger is at its peak. Wait until your body is calm enough to think. If you speak too early, anger speaks for you. And anger has no filter, no mercy, and no memory of consequences. The second rule is ownership. Say, I feel, instead of, you always. I feel ignored when this happens. Not, you never respect me. This small change prevents the other person from becoming defensive. Be specific. Vague anger becomes an argument. Clear anger becomes a conversation. Talk about one issue, not a list from the last 10 years. Anger loves collecting evidence. Discipline means choosing one battle. Lower your volume. Loud voices feel powerful, but they weaken your position. Calm words force others to listen. Silence between sentences can be more effective than shouting. Do not insult. Insults and communication. Once dignity is attacked, problem-solving stops. You might win the moment and lose the relationship. Another key point is listening. Anger often comes from feeling unheard. If you want to be heard, you must also listen. This does not mean agreeing. It means understanding. If direct conversation is not possible, write your thoughts. Writing organizes anger. You see patterns. You remove exaggeration. Sometimes you realize the issue is smaller than it felt. There are situations where anger should not be expressed to the other person at all. Not everyone deserves access to your emotions. In those cases, release anger privately through exercise, journaling, or trusted people. Healthy anger sets boundaries. It says, this is not acceptable. It does not say, you are worthless. There is a big difference. Remember this. Anger that is expressed with control builds respect. Anger that is uncontrolled destroys trust. In the next part, we will talk about long-term anger habits and how to stop carrying old anger into new situations. How to prevent old anger from controlling your present. Many people think anger disappears after a fight or argument. They think once they calm down, it is over. The truth is, anger is a memory. Every argument, every unfair moment, every insult, every disappointment can remain inside if you do not deal with it properly. Old anger is heavy. It changes the way you respond. Today, it makes small problems feel like mountains. It makes your mind suspicious. It keeps you tense. It steals your energy. And most importantly, it steals your peace. The first step to prevent old anger from controlling your present is awareness. You must recognize when past anger is influencing current behavior. If you react strongly to a small comment, ask yourself, is this about now? Or is this old anger speaking? Awareness is the first bridge between chaos and calm. Awareness does not mean judgment. It does not mean guilt. It simply means noticing patterns. The second step is release. Anger stored inside grows silently. It grows stronger over time. It becomes automatic. You react without thinking. To release it, you must express it in safe ways. Journaling is one of the most effective tools. Writing down your anger does not make you weak. It organizes your thoughts. It allows you to see reality instead of emotion. Write what happened, how it made you feel, why it matters, and what you learned. Over time, Repeated writing creates clarity. Physical release is equally important. Old anger is energy. If it is trapped, it will find small ways to escape through stress, irritability, or health problems. Walk, run, stretch, or exercise. Move your body. Move the anger. A single session of exercise does not solve all problems, but repeated movement reduces the physical tension that anger stores. The third step is forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about saying the other person is right or that what happened does not matter. It is about releasing the power that old anger has over you. Holding anger does not punish the other person. It punishes you. When you forgive, you take control of your present. You do not let the past dictate your happiness. Forgiveness is a choice, and it is a powerful tool. Boundaries are another key to stopping old anger from controlling your life. If someone repeatedly hurts you, you must protect yourself. Anger is not permission to stay in harmful relationships. Setting clear boundaries is a healthy expression of self-respect. You can be firm without being cruel. You can be honest without being destructive. Boundaries are not walls to isolate you. They are bridges to peace. Next, you must practice emotional regulation daily. Meditation, breathing exercises, and mindfulness help train your mind. You cannot control everything, but you can control how long you let anger linger. Each day you practice, the automatic reactions become smaller. Each day you practice, your decisions become calmer. Each day you practice, your life becomes lighter. Lastly, remember that managing old anger is not a one-time effort. It is continuous work. Every day, new triggers appear. Every day, new situations test your patience. But the more you practice, the more automatic calm becomes. Anger still appears, but it no longer controls your words or actions. You respond instead of reacting. You choose instead of being forced. Old anger is like an old shadow. If you face it, it loses its power. If you ignore it, it follows you. Awareness, release, forgiveness, boundaries, and practice are the tools to break free. Use them daily. Train your mind, train your body, train your responses. Over time, you will notice freedom, clarity, and peace replacing the heavy weight of past anger. In the next part, Part 8, we will explore how to transform anger into energy for growth and productivity. Anger can become a tool if you know how to use it wisely instead of letting it destroy you. Anger is not always a problem. The problem begins when it stays inside and controls your mind. Many people waste energy holding anger and regret from past events. Every small irritation becomes bigger because old anger lives in the background. But imagine if you could take that energy and use it for growth. Imagine if anger became a signal rather than a chain. The first step is noticing it. When you feel tension rising, pause. Do not react immediately. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this about the present, or is it old anger? Many times, your strong reaction has nothing to do with what just happened. It is the echo of a past fight, an unfair word, or an old mistake. Awareness separates past from present. It prevents you from acting on old pain. Once you recognize it, channel the energy. Anger is energy. It is force. If you let it sit, it destroys your health, your focus, and your peace. If you redirect it, it can motivate action. For example, if someone criticized you unfairly, instead of arguing, write your thoughts. Exercise. Create something. Let the energy move through your body. Transform it into action rather than reaction. Every time you practice this, your mind becomes stronger. Your responses become cleaner. Your life becomes lighter. Next, learn to communicate effectively. Anger often grows when you feel unheard. Speaking without control makes situations worse. Speaking with calmness and clarity turns anger into conversation. Use "I feel" statements instead of blame. Describe the issue without exaggeration. Focus on facts, not assumptions. This protects relationships and prevents unnecessary fights. It also makes the other person listen instead of defend. Controlled communication builds respect. Uncontrolled communication builds resentment. Forgiveness is another tool. Forgiveness is not about letting the other person be right. It is about letting go of the control anger has over you. Holding grudges hurts only you. Your sleep, your energy, your focus all suffer. When you forgive, you reclaim your peace. You tell yourself that past mistakes no longer dictate your present or future. Forgiveness is a choice, and it is empowering. Boundaries are essential. Some people repeatedly trigger anger because they cross lines you cannot accept. Protect yourself without anger. Set clear rules, act with calm authority, and remove yourself from harmful situations if needed. Boundaries are not punishment. They are protection. They are peace for your mind. Finally, practice daily emotional control. Meditation, breathing, journaling, or mindfulness are ways to train your mind. Every day you practice, anger loses its automatic grip. Every day you practice, you respond instead of react. Over time, this becomes natural. Anger still appears, but it does not rule you. You decide how to act. You decide the impact it will have. You choose calm and clarity instead of chaos. Old anger is like a weight you carry without noticing. Awareness, energy redirection, clear communication, forgiveness, boundaries, and daily practice are the tools to remove that weight. Use them continuously. Every small effort adds up. Every choice shapes your response. Over time, your life becomes lighter, your mind clearer, and your actions more intentional. Anger remains, but it is no longer your master. You are free to act, to create, and to live with peace. Life is full of challenges and small frustrations that test patience and focus. Every day brings unexpected problems, disagreements, and setbacks. Many people let these small issues pile up and create a mountain of stress and irritation. But what if, instead of letting frustration control you, you learn to transform it into clarity and strength? The first step is understanding that every problem has a lesson. Even the smallest inconvenience teaches something about patience, observation, or decision-making. When you encounter a difficulty, do not immediately react. Pause, breathe, and ask yourself what you can learn. This shifts your perspective from victim to learner. You begin to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to grow. Next, focus on small, consistent actions rather than trying to solve everything at once. A small step taken calmly is worth more than a huge effort taken impulsively. For example, if you are overwhelmed by work or study, do one task at a time. Complete it fully before moving to the next. This simple habit trains your mind to focus and reduces anxiety. When you finish tasks with clarity, your confidence increases. The mind loves completion and clear action. Small achievements build momentum that carries you through bigger challenges. Emotions also need management. Frustration, anger, or impatience are natural, but they are not facts. Observe them without judgment. Say to yourself, "This is how I feel, not who I am." Labeling emotions without reacting helps you avoid mistakes. Many conflicts happen because people act on feelings instead of thinking. By separating feeling from action, you maintain control. You become the decision maker in your life, instead of being controlled by impulses. Gratitude is a surprisingly powerful tool. When small problems arise, reminding yourself of what is working well balances the mind. It does not ignore the challenge, but it prevents one difficulty from dominating your thoughts. Every day, note a few things that went right, no matter how small. This habit rewires the brain to focus on solutions instead of endlessly replaying problems. A grateful mind is a calmer mind, and calmness reduces the likelihood of destructive reactions. Another key practice is preparation. Many frustrations come from unpreparedness. When you plan ahead, even roughly, you reduce surprises and minimize reactive stress. This does not mean controlling everything, but having a plan for your work, study, or personal tasks keeps the mind organized. A structured mind handles unexpected challenges with less chaos. You face the same problem calmly while others panic. Calmness attracts solutions. Finally, build patience daily. Patience is a skill that strengthens with repetition. Start with small situations, waiting in line, listening to someone slowly explain, or completing a tedious task. Each moment is a chance to practice patience. Over time, you learn to act instead of reacting. You can approach life with focus, clarity, and resilience. Anger, stress, and frustration will still appear, but you control how they affect you. You choose the response, not the feeling. Life becomes manageable, intentional, and full of learning. By understanding challenges, practicing small steps, managing emotions, cultivating gratitude, preparing, and developing patience, you transform your daily experiences. What once caused irritation now becomes an opportunity to practice calm, grow your mind, and strengthen your character. Each day you practice these habits, you shape a life of clarity and strength, where you respond to life, rather than being swept away by it. Success is not about luck or talent alone. It is about consistent actions taken every day. Many people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect idea, or the perfect energy. But perfection is an illusion. The truth is that growth begins when you start acting even imperfectly. Every small step matters. Every decision you make shapes your path and builds your future. The first key is to understand that consistency beats intensity. A single hour done daily is worth more than 10 hours done once. Your brain loves patterns. Patterns create habits. Habits create your reality. When you choose to act daily, you start building momentum and confidence. Momentum carries you forward, even on days when motivation is low. Next, focus on learning and improvement. Motivation can start the journey, but skills and knowledge sustain it. Learn every day. Read, watch, listen, practice. Apply what you learn. Immediately, knowledge without action is wasted energy. Skills are tools that open doors. Every skill you master increases your freedom and confidence. The more you know, the more options you have in life. Do not wait to feel ready. You become ready by taking action. Read small lessons daily. Watch tutorials. Practice consistently. Even small improvements compound over time. Mindset is crucial. Your thoughts shape your reality. If you constantly think about failure, fear, or comparison, your life will reflect that. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop measuring your beginning against someone else's middle. Everyone starts somewhere. Everyone faces struggles hidden behind success. When you focus on your growth, you free your mind to progress. Comparison steals energy and peace. Energy is your most valuable resource. Protect it. Use it to create, not to envy. Daily routines build the foundation of success. Start your morning with clarity. Move your body, drink water, sit in silence. Plan your day. The way you begin your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Small rituals create discipline. Discipline creates freedom. When challenges arise, discipline keeps you steady. Motivation fluctuates. Discipline lasts. Discipline allows you to act even when you do not feel like it. Finally, understand that patience is the hardest yet most rewarding skill. Results take time. They do not appear overnight, but effort never disappears. Every day you show up, you are closer to your goals. Trust the process. Consistency creates inevitable improvement. The path may seem slow, but each step counts. You are building a life, not chasing quick wins. You are crafting character, not collecting instant gratification. Stay patient, stay consistent, and keep moving forward. The small actions you take today shape a stronger, wiser, and more confident you tomorrow. Life is a journey of small steps, not giant leaps. Every action you take adds up over time. Many people give up too soon because they expect instant results. They compare themselves to others and feel behind. But growth is personal and invisible at first. The key is to focus on progress, not perfection. Each day you practice discipline. Each day you learn. Each day you push yourself. You are improving, even if it does not feel obvious. The mind loves to see patterns and rewards consistent effort. Every small habit you build compounds like interest in a bank account. The time you spend learning, practicing and acting. Today will multiply into achievements tomorrow. Your mindset determines how you interpret challenges. If you see difficulties as punishment, you will feel trapped. If you see difficulties as opportunities, you will feel empowered. Every mistake is feedback. Every failure teaches you what to adjust. Every obstacle shows you where to grow. Do not fear mistakes, embrace them. Use them as tools for learning and strengthening your resilience. When you fail, you do not lose progress. You gain insight. Insight allows smarter actions next time. Consistency requires structure. Build routines that support your goals. Decide what matters most and schedule your focus. Do not waste energy on trivial distractions. Protect your attention like it is gold. Your environment shapes your behavior more than willpower. Remove distractions. Organize your space. Make habits easy to maintain and bad habits difficult to access. Small changes in your surroundings create big results. Your future self will thank you for this preparation. Emotions are natural, but should not control your actions. Observe them without judgment. Label them as feelings, not facts. When frustration appears, acknowledge it, and then take constructive action. Anger, impatience, and fear are signals, not commands. Learn to respond calmly rather than react impulsively. Calm decisions lead to better outcomes. Your mind is your main battlefield. Control your thoughts and you control your life. Thoughts are clouds. The sky remains constant. You are the sky, and your mind is the tool that shapes your actions. Finally, always keep learning. Knowledge is freedom. The more you know, the more you can choose your path. Study daily. Read, watch, listen. Apply what you learn immediately. Knowledge without action is wasted energy. Skills transform possibilities into reality. Small daily improvements compound into mastery over time. Never stop learning, because learning is the engine of growth. Every day you invest in knowledge, you invest in your freedom, confidence, and future success is not a secret. It is the result of repeated small actions, repeated with discipline, patience, and awareness. As time passes, you begin to understand something important. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays. Many people wait to feel ready, but readiness is built through action, not waiting. You move first, and confidence follows action, creates clarity, not the other way around. When you take small steps every day, your brain adapts to effort. Hard things slowly become normal. What once felt impossible becomes routine. This is how real change happens, quietly, without noise. There will be days when you feel tired, bored, or doubtful. On those days, remember why you started, not the external reasons, but the internal ones. The desire to grow, the need to become stronger, the hope for a better future. Motivation tied to purpose lasts longer than motivation tied to emotions. Purpose gives direction when feelings fade. Write your purpose down. Read it often. Let it guide your choices. Comparison is one of the biggest thieves of progress. When you compare your chapter 1 to someone else, chapter 10, you lose focus. Everyone has a different timeline, different resources, different struggles. Focus on your own lane. Measure yourself against yesterday, not against strangers. Online growth is not a race. It is a process, and the only real competition is the person you were before. Patience is a skill. Most people quit because results take time. Seeds grow underground before they break the surface. Just because you do not see progress does not mean nothing is happening. Trust the process. Stay consistent. Show up, even when it feels pointless. That quiet consistency separates those who succeed from those who only dream. Rest is also part of growth. Pushing without rest leads to burnout. Learn to pause without quitting. Rest your body, reset your mind, then continue with clarity. Sustainable growth is better than fast exhaustion. Long-term thinking always wins. Your future is shaped by what you do repeatedly, not occasionally. One good day will not change your life, but a good routine will. Build systems, not goals. Systems keep you moving even when motivation is low. When your actions become habits, success becomes predictable. Remember this, you are not behind. You are becoming. Every step forward, no matter how small, matters. Keep going, stay patient, stay disciplined, and trust that the work you do today is building the life you want tomorrow. As you grow, you start to see life with clearer eyes. You understand that not everyone will support your journey. Some people will doubt you. Some will ignore your effort. Some will only notice you when you succeed. This is normal. Do not let their silence or negativity slow you down. Growth often happens alone, and that solitude teaches strength. You learn to trust yourself more. You stop asking everyone for approval. You listen more to your inner voice. That voice becomes stronger when you respect it every time you keep a promise to yourself. Your confidence increases. Self-trust is built through action, not words. When you say you will do something and you actually do it, you become powerful. Fear does not disappear, it changes shape. At first, you fear starting. Later you fear failing. Then you fear success and responsibility. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward. While fear is present, you learn to carry fear with you instead of waiting for it to leave. Life starts testing you in small ways. A missed opportunity, a bad result, a slow week. These moments are lessons, not punishments. Every setback teaches patience. Every mistake teaches awareness. If you reflect instead of reacting, you turn pain into progress. You begin to value time differently. You stop wasting energy on things that do not matter. You choose growth over comfort, silence over noise, focus over distraction. Time becomes your most respected resource. You invest it carefully because you understand that wasted time is wasted life. Slowly your habits change. You wake up with intention. You plan your day. You work even when no one is watching. This is where discipline shows its real power. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. It is not exciting, but it is effective. You realize success is not loud. It does not announce itself. It arrives quietly when consistency meets patience. One day you look back and see how far you have come, and that version of you from the past feels proud, not because life became easy, but because you did not quit.